think
that's what I'm saying.
Is that a viable option for you?
How far would I go? Is what I was thinking.
Yeah.
I don't think I would. And that's the thing. It's easy for me to say that because it's like, what's the difference of a white dude being like, yo, if I was black, you know what I mean? Because it's just like you have to understand the experience for me to say that. But as a man today, if I'm saying like, from what I know, from my knowledge now, would I have gone that far? I don't think so. But I can't say that I would like settle. Because as a man right now, I'm like, I have like standards as far as physical appearance. And it's just like, I guess that's the trade-off. Like, I'm not saying that I need a girl that makes as much money or more money than me, but like she gotta be doing something.
Sean Johnson, Head Steph, Sade Renee, you're back tuned into another episode of the IC. Welcome back.
Welcome back.
You know, this is episode, I think, 40.
Is it?
Wow. Congratulations, everybody. We on episode 40.
Hey guys.
What's going on? How everybody doing?
We're doing good, you know what I mean? A lot going on in the world right now.
Yes, sir. Spring break. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Oh, yes. We are. I don't got class this week.
No
Thank
class.
You, Jesus.
Yeah, time out.
Can I get a spring break from work though?
Oh, that shit. You know what I mean? I'm a disabled vet over here. We don't want to deal with none of them damn things. You know what I mean?
I don't want to go to work.
I don't want to go to work. You know what I mean? Shit, but yeah, man, I feel good. I ain't gonna lie. It's like, you know, sun is starting to come out a little bit. I mean, we lost an hour of sleep, but it's cool. You know what I mean? Get a little more like chirp, 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 chirp. You know what I mean? Then your sundress season coming right around the corner. You know what I mean? A little eye candy for the fellas. You know what I mean? It's about to be nice out here, cuz. About to be nice. What we talking about, though?
So what happened in media today?
I don't know. What I miss?
Man, fuck media, actually. Sometimes it's just like, I don't know. Sometimes it feels like it don't even exist. It don't, like, how do I know fucking Kanye's a real person? Like, you know what I'm saying? You ever felt like that? Like, how do I know, like these
shit is not even
like these people are actually real people?
And you watching some type of TV show, some shit.
Yeah, and we invest so much of our motherfucking energy into a lot of that shit. And it's just like, who are we talking about again?
Yeah, that's a fact.
Yo, I think one day in the future they're gonna be like, on the news, we just found out Kim Kardashian is a robot. This was an experiment to see, you know, and we found out this bitch is a robot.
That's a fact, bro.
All y'all niggas beating your meat off to a robot.
To Android 15.
I mean, if you're looking at ass, that shit do look robot-like, my nigga. I ain't gonna lie, them motherfucking, she got them ant legs.
Them chicken legs.
Yeah,
yo,
that shit look crazy.
I was at Brown Sugar in and where is that shit at?
Bronx.
In the Bronx. Yes, it's like near Dykeman.
Okay.
And all the girls in there got BBLs.
Oh my God.
Well, everybody, yo, I be thinking in my head, like, if everybody got BBLs, right? And all the niggas got like Gucci shoes and Dolce and Gabbana shoes like that, and I'm still wearing.
That's the norm now.
Yeah, like when did that shit like happen? Like you go out there, you go to Washington Heights, like every girl got a butt job.
Everybody got.
How they be making their money and they be working in a restaurant? That don't make no sense.
That's what I'm saying.
I don't get it.
And I don't get it.
Some girls bought that shit with that COVID money.
With that nana.
Sugar baby shit.
Yeah,
what I don't understand is, right, how if you spend all that money to have a butt, right?
You ain't supposed to be working at Starbucks.
Why you like,
bruh? I'm not gonna
Don't you
lie,
get it
bro.
so you can make more money?
But aren't you supposed to be making more money?
That's what I'm saying. Yeah, it's kind of counterproductive if you spend all that money to get your body done just to be a waitress.
That's the thing that fucked up. It got cheap, so now everybody can do it. So now everybody's
if
on the
it's cheap,
same.
I don't want it.
Everybody's on the same playing field now. You know what's funny, bro? Like I said this before. I don't. Skinny girls has come back in, but I went to Colombia, bro.
How was that?
Bro. So I was single at the time, and we went two of my homies. And I ain't gonna lie, we went there chasing girls. So I ain't gonna lie, it was like that. But it was just one thing that I as soon as I got off the plane, I noticed. You'll see the baddest bitch in the world, valet parking cars. You see the baddest bitch in the world, the cook in a restaurant. Baddest girl in the world is fucking just doing regular job, taxi driving. And it's just like, wait, what's happening? You'll never see that here. You'll never see the baddest girl in the world fucking valeting cars, bro. You'll never see the baddest girl in the world fucking, maybe working at a restaurant, you'll see something like that.
It was different culturally speaking.
But it's different. But it's just, it just showed me that American
they actually
culture,
work out there?
Yeah, the American culture, beauty is valued like currency out here.
Yeah.
The more pretty you are, the less you will work. Or the
less you have to do.
harder you'll work.
Yeah.
It's just crazy. And out there, they're just like...
They're regular.
You ever heard of passport bros?
I think I have. Them news that just be like going out there looking for their wives and shit.
Yeah.
I could never.
Getting lined
so
up.
there's like a sector on the internet, I noticed that it's called passport bros.
Yeah.
And a lot of these niggas be going to like Dominican Republic and be getting like bodied. Like be getting set up.
I bet.
You know what I mean? And killed because they're going out there on like
looking for their wives.
Flexing.
Yeah, flexing.
That's stupidity. I'm sorry. Like if you go out there, you got first of all, especially we just saw what happened in Mexico. Like I've been to Mexico, I've been to Colombia, I've lived in Korea. All these places that like not as economically advanced as us in America. I could be wrong about Korea. Korea is like right on the ass actually. But as far as like you don't go out there forcing. You don't go out, and honestly, I don't know. Like in the military too. When I was living in Korea, people would go and there's these things called juicy girls. There's girls that come from the Philippines, right? And they sign contracts with Koreans, I guess, to get out of there to work in the bar.
Like a work visa type
thing?
thing?
Like a work visa type shit. So they work as like what they call juicy girls, which is technically kind of like a...
Prostitute? Almost.
What they do is they work in a bar and you have to buy them drinks. And then if she likes you...
So it's like an escort.
Yeah, almost like an escort kind of thing. And so many young soldiers was marrying these bitches, bro. Mm-hmm. And they'd have to pay off the bar to take the girl. And they bring them back to America and they gone. Like, I don't know. Don't get me wrong. When I say, like, the baddest joint out there will be valet park with cars, but I'm not sitting there saying, go out there and find your wife. Like, I don't,
right.
You know what I mean? You can never tell anybody's going to look appealing to you or is going to, like, play their cards right when you know you could take them to a different type of life from a third world country.
Well, that's here, too. I mean, I think that's what those girls, that's what their motive is. Like, a lot of girls use feminine assets to pay their way through life. Like,
I agree.
It's just like, okay, the bigger my tits, the bigger my ass, the more I look like Instagram model, the more. I said it the last episode when we was talking about, like, they see the lifestyle that the women that look like that live on so-called reality TV. Yeah. And they're like, oh, okay, that's what I need to live like that. And that's what most girls think. Yeah. That's what most girls, I think it's all over the world, like, beauty's currency. Like, in some places, like, you have to, like, they don't got it to give you that life. But if someone's coming from outside of your, like, especially when you live in a lot of these other countries, you got high tourists. Yeah. So you pick up the right man, you set. So to play devil's advocate, like, I point out these differences, not to shit on, like, American women or anything, but it's a reality that we live in, right? So obviously, if you look a certain type of way, you're going to try to get the best you can get, right? How wrong is that? Like, where's the limit? Do you think that where morality comes into play, or like...
What do you mean, though?
So, like, for instance, like, us being men, right? Especially black men, we have a view of the world where it's like, we got to go out there and get ours. You know what I mean? We got to go ahead and whether we got to go to school or learn a craft or invest or whatever the fuck what it is, we got to get it off you know how niggas get out the mud, whatever, right? What if you were a female, right? And you knew, like, you were, you had pretty privilege or whatever you want to call it. And like, what is the limit? Like, are you, like, just looking for high-end men, or are you, like, not talking to men that are, like... Yeah, they talk about it all the time on social media. Yeah, like, you gotta make a...
I think there's a give and take. It's funny you said that, It's real interesting you said that, but it's a give and take. Like, put 2 points, right? I was doing like the keywords for the show, and it was an episode where we were talking to like bedroom talk or whatever, right?
Yeah.
And the keywords were so high rating, like in the 90s, 100s, when you talk about sex, when you talk about just like ass, titties, and things like that, that you look at it and you're like, yo, this is a way to pop. Yeah. If you have a podcast and you bring in porn stars on your podcast, or you're talking about what's your favorite position or whatever you have, the podcast is just going to go off because by nature, sex sells, you know? So like there's a side of me that thinks like, you can't blame these girls for going on OnlyFans.
Exactly what I was saying.
But it's a give and take because it's like, how much integrity do you have?
Exactly.
You know, I don't want to cast a judgment on all women, but sometimes you see a perspective that a lot of women don't really have to have that type of integrity because society is almost like a safety net when it comes to perspective, and you shouldn't shame people's or judge people's perspective. You know?
Agreed.
So it's like, maybe if I'm a girl clapping my ass on OnlyFans, it's not like a guy who chooses to ruin his community by selling crack. And it's like, oh, you shouldn't be doing that. Yes, you're making money, but in what account? Look how you look. Yeah. You know? Yeah. It's not like people will be more inclined to judge other people who are making money with no integrity than a girl who's showing off her body because it's her body.
So let me ask you a question. With that view, there's like sex addiction, there's porn addiction, there's people that like are obsessed with the shit that you could potentially say something similar. Maybe not as heavy as being like creating a whole bunch of a whole community of drug addicts, but you could say something like that to that extent, especially if you're like what if people have like addictions with like money issues or just throwing money, like, you know, they're asking for money. So I
think it's different being addicted to crack than sex.
Why?
Because first of all, you're physically deteriorating. You get what I'm saying?
But being poor, because like, so there's people that's addicted to like fucking like, I was watching this shit the other day when niggas were like spending checks on girls that are acting like their girlfriend online, and like these niggas can't financially sustain, and which leads to them being physically in issues because they can't pay for certain shit or certain things that's a necessity in life.
I might.
I know it's in not. My head, I know it's
in
not.
my head. I think it's just ridiculous to think. For me, it's ridiculous to think that a sex addiction is worse than like a heroin addiction.
But that's the thing. We're not saying worse.
Right.
We're saying we know a heroin addiction is like the ultimate. We get that.
Yeah.
But an addiction that's not as popular. Like we've had a lot of time studying crack.
But at the same time, it's not really about the other side. It's not about the addiction. It's really about the person selling their body on OnlyFans, or it's really about the niggas selling heroin to somebody's grandma or something like that. It's really like the other side.
It's moral responsibility.
Yes,
moral responsibility.
That's exactly what it is.
So, do you feel like there is some type of moral responsibility, or there's no moral responsibility on like an OnlyFans?
I think that's personal.
That's what I'm trying to say. That it's personal.
It's personal. Why is it not personal?
It's on an individual basis because it's like it's a conscious choice to make that decision. Knowing. Well, see, I work in that field, and sometimes a lot of it's deeper than the addiction of like heroin or crack. Like it becomes like it's physical. Like you stop taking it, your body starts shutting down on you. Like a lot of it stems from like deeper issues. Not saying that
you're talking about the addiction or the seller.
Oh, the seller.
Yeah, that's what I was talking about.
Oh, I think it's like survival mode for this
For both of them, it's survival mode.
I beg to differ. I feel like that's also like a woman choosing to go into like utilize her body. Like you're like selling crack. You're not putting your body in a situation that's potentially degrading or harmful.
What about prostitution?
Prostitution is the same thing.
I get what you're saying too. If you want to take that perspective, we can actually say a lot of niggas will go out there and rob and steal and mug other people. Mm-hmm. And it's like you can say, oh, but when I'm on OnlyFans shaking my ass, I'm not hurting nobody. Yeah. Maybe you are because they have a sex addiction, or maybe they have a porn addiction.
Yeah, and they'll say that's not my problem.
It's exploiting.
Yeah, it's not. It's not like physical. You punching somebody and robbing somebody, but there's harm still being done. I get what you're saying.
So people will.
Well, at the end of the day, it's about your moral compass.
Exactly.
At the end of the day, it's like, okay, it's your choice to go shake your ass for money because that's the easiest option. You don't want to get a job. You don't want to become a nurse, or you don't want to physical therapist, or whatever you want. You don't want to put in that.
And I just want to say, I'm not saying, I'm just playing devil's advocate. I honestly don't.
I don't even think we have to do that because it's like
no. I just want to let you know what my standpoint is. Yeah, right. So I'm not saying here. I'm just trying to. I've always played with the ideas. Like I'm not gonna lie, as a youngin', I used to be like, oh, girls got it easy. And then I got a little older, and I still think, women have it a little different. I won't say easy.
Now, if you were, no homo, if you were a girl, right?
That's what I'm saying.
Would you think?
That's what I'm saying.
Is that a viable option for you?
How far would I go is what I was thinking.
Yeah.
I don't think I would. And that's the thing. It's easy for me to say that. Because it's like, what's the difference of a white dude being like, yo, if I was black, you know what I mean? Because it's just like you have to understand the experience for me to say that. But as a man today, if I'm saying like from what I know, from my knowledge now, would I have gone that far? I don't think so. But I can't say that I would like settle. Because as a man right now, I'm like I have like standards as far as physical appearance, and it's just like I guess that's the trade-off. Like I'm not saying that I need a girl that makes as much money or more money than me, but like she got to be doing something. You know what I mean? So as a woman with the gender roles that we like, grew up with, I would think, I don't know. At least I would think somebody got to they got to be able to hold it down.
I think that's totally separate though.
Why is that separate?
Because it's the perspective of how you look as my wife, and then there's how much money you make so we can build an empire together. You get what I'm saying? So, and there's a million and one ways to make money, and that doesn't necessarily mean you have to degrade yourself.
I agree. The reason why I was saying that though is just because it's comparing the standards that we hold women to. Most men, when they look at a woman, they're not worrying about like she have a 401k. They're like, she look dumb good. She look like somebody that could represent me. How does she carry herself type shit? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You're not really worried. Like, so like for instance, what's the baddest chick you in the world to you?
I'll give you a bad one. I don't know about the world.
Yeah, just be
Bernice Burgos.
So Bernice Burgos working at McDonald's is acceptable to a lot of niggas. 90% of niggas, I would believe. That's a wild number, but I would say 90% of niggas would be like, I'm cool with that.
Yeah.
But let's say Amy Schumer. I can't think of an average chick. So Amy Schumer working at McDonald's is not getting no play. Well, she's still getting play, but she's not getting as much play as Bernice Burgos, right?
Right.
Now, Amy Schumer, let's say Bernice Burgos in the Fortune 500 business CEO, and Beyonce in a Fortune 500. Like, it doesn't make a difference to me. You know what I'm saying?
No.
It don't make a difference if as a man if she's a millionaire or not. You know what I mean? It's our standards are different from women.
Yeah.
So now I say from a woman's standpoint, where it's just like her beauty is her commodity. Also, amongst other things, but mostly niggas can't see. You know what I mean? Like niggas niggas is going for whatever, her beauty. So if I was a woman, I don't know. I don't know. I don't think I'm taking anybody that working McDonald's, to be honest with you. A woman's not taking it.
You mean
a woman's not taking
I thought you were asking if a guy's a girl, if a guy was a girl, if he would be able to resort to OnlyFans. That's what I thought you were asking. But you're asking.
I may have lost myself.
Yeah. So
I may have lost myself.
Are you asking that question, or are you asking?
I'm just talking about like moralities. Like what I don't know exactly what I would do because my standards would be a little different.
I tell my sisters I don't think they should be with a broke guy.
I don't think my sister should either. But
yeah, I say that because as a man, right? As a man, I know a lot of people say money is not everything and you shouldn't be materialistic, this and that. But part of building as a man is acquiring things for yourself. Like I can look around my house and I have a story for every piece of furniture.
Okay.
Because I bought it myself. I remember where I was, where I went, what I did that day. And it's like you collect and you acquire all this as a man and you bring people into your empire. Like I have a certain friends that they still live with their mom or with their parents in their basement or whatever, and they're like, oh, my parents don't bother me, and you know, I give money to the rent sometimes, so I think that's fine. And I know they don't feel right about that shit.
Yeah, of course not.
You get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I know girls that still kind of live with their parents and their parents help them out and it's not really the same.
Yeah, it's not.
You know, it's not really as like underachieving as if a guy was not acquiring anything for himself.
I agree.
You know what I mean? I just think as a man, you should have like at least 30% of your empire or on the way building before like you bring a girl in.
I agree.
A lot of those niggas is the niggas that chicks end up getting with, and it's like the niggas always in their car picking you up from work.
Oh my God.
You always slide in your credit card under the table so he can look like he's paying and shit. Like girls don't want to deal with that. A lot of times, like if a nigga fits a certain avatar, they'll deal with it. Yeah. But they don't want to deal with that shit, bro.
Yeah. So again with the morality, is it condemnable? Like, I don't know. Like, should we even be like, because I've been watching a lot of shit, bro. Like, again, like throughout the year, always watching what I disagree with just to like get another perspective to the point where I'm starting to see like what people's points are. And I don't know. I don't, now it's just like, I don't agree with anybody almost because it's like the left side is a little too crazy, right side too crazy. I don't even fucking consider, I don't even know what the fuck. There's so many different shit now. Like just like everybody's extreme. Red pill, blue pill, black pill. They got all these different pills and shit.
So you're saying you don't know if you...
I'm just starting to see like, I feel like everybody has a point, but everybody's fucking going a little too hard with their shit. Like for instance, like that whole Andrew Tate thing. I know a lot of niggas like Andrew Tate, and I know a lot of niggas hate Andrew Tate. I feel like he has a point where it's like, you know, women like, a man should be able to like, you know, a man is a protector. A man is a protector. And if you're with a woman, you don't own that woman. I don't believe any of that shit. But I do believe at some point, like, a man has to take charge in a situation. Like, you know what I mean? I feel like a man is the head of a household. But then it's like, you watch fucking.
See, feminists will have a problem with that.
Why?
Because they're saying there's no head of the household, it's equal.
But that's not the truth.
But I'm not saying that I'm disagreeing.
And that's the thing. That's what I said. Like I agree with a lot of points on both sides, but I feel like both sides are also like extremist as fuck. So like, yeah, feminists probably wouldn't agree with that. A feminist also like speaking like neo-feminists like fucking like hate men, like men shouldn't exist. There's some shit like that.
Yeah.
So it's like I don't give a fuck like what a person with that frame of mind would think. But I do feel like a man is like the head of a household. Like it's something about like most women. I'm not gonna say all women. Most women to my knowledge would not feel comfortable with a man that can't take charge. If you don't feel secure with this man. Like you don't feel safe, That probably won't work.
We
out.
would like for one of the next shows. I'm gonna have a feminist on the line.
Yeah, you should.
And because
that's
like
be interesting as fuck.
I know because I've had the I've had these conversations.
Why you always gotta catch my face?
I've had these conversations and they will argue you down, and I was like, I would even go to saying, what about your parents? How was that? And I was like, well, my mom made more money than my father, or it was equal. Like they both make decisions. Then it's like, don't you want a guy that can take lead? And it's like, I can take lead too. It's like,
but it's not. When I say a man take charge, I feel like people be like, women go cook dinner, and we're not doing this. It's not like that.
You're talking about equity versus
no. I'm telling you, a feminist knows you don't mean that
exactly.
But that shit don't exist no more. They're like, no, this is.
Nah, I'm sorry.
I'm stepping up here.
Yeah,
you know,
there's
some books that I read, and it's like, and it's almost like they have to put in the book. It has nothing to do with like feminism culture, but they put into the book like, oh, a woman has to be, if the product is made for women, then a woman has to be head of the company because there's no continuity in the product now. Or like, you know what I mean? There's like certain, nowadays people put certain like clues into their podcasts, their media outlet, their books or whatever to make you feel like this is the side you should be on. You know what I mean? So it's almost like me saying like McDonald's, the new Blue Burger, like the new Crip Burger. You get what I'm saying? Now all the Crips come to McDonald's and buy the Blue Burger, something like that. It's like they put a little like. They put hints into their marketing now.
Yeah.
So
it's definitely tribe-like.
Yeah, it's like you could be a part of this team now.
Exactly. I don't know. I don't know if I keep trying to do like lately. I've been like looking at shit from the past. I mean, like, was marketing the same? Was politics the same always? And we're just like awake now that we're older. Yeah. Or I don't think so. I don't think it was. I don't think it was
built with. Yes, it was always been this bad because that
not marketing. I'm talking
what
about
exists now comes from propaganda.
No, I'm not. Okay, like, so I'm not talking about like marketing. I'm talking about. Also, what I meant to say is like I've been looking at things differently. Like as far as like team wise, I feel like everything right now is like for this team. We're for this team. We're red pill. We're blue pill. We're trans community. We're I think anti-community. You know what I mean?
I think we're in a tribal era where people are trying to find their communities and their tribe, because before everything was kind of like convoluted and mixed. It's like you either this or that.
Before, like, I feel like they were trying not to like.
They were trying to make everything inclusive.
Inclusive, exactly.
Right, but then you have like certain communities that didn't feel heard, that didn't feel like their needs were being met in that collective. So you have like, just certain demographics of people that just weren't like. Okay, and with mental health and disabilities, they had to fight for certain rights just to kind of get their needs met. Like someone in a wheelchair, like they had to make a law so that every building had access for someone in a wheelchair. Like, do you get what I'm saying? So it's like they've taken it to the extreme. Yeah. So now it's like that you have these little chunks of communities that feel like they weren't being heard, they weren't being served. Because if you think about when America was like born or created, who ran it? It was a certain type of person that ran it. So they determined what everybody was doing, what it looked like, what you could do, what you could not do. And that was by law.
I think it's the internet. I don't think anything has really changed, because it's like, all right, think about it. There was a time where there was 13 channels. Yeah. Right? And there were 13 channels you were flicking through on your TV, and these outlets were programming you. So if they wanted to program the kids, there'll be PBS. If they wanted to program you on the news, it'll be Channel 5, Fox 5. That's why Fox 5 got big as one of those crooked news outlets and things like that. Yeah. Super Bowl commercials, the best commercials and things like that. Now we live in a day and age where everybody can find their tribe on the internet. If you are into birdhouses, there's a YouTube page with 1 million subscribers that specializes in making different birdhouses. Yeah. If you are into pencils, there's a YouTube page about pencils and they crush it. Yeah. I think that now I think it's like that for niche. Everything's niche and everybody could find their niche now. I don't think anything is different.
So the thing that's different now though is just like everybody's a contrarian. It's not just about the tribalism. It's about everybody's anti this way, anti that way. Like it's just kind of like a little kind of too much verses going on. You know what I mean? Like it's.
Well, I think that's because a lot of people have a hard time saying, well, if you believe that, then you don't respect this.
Exactly.
And it's really not that. It's just like as amongst friends, like we can all have different mindsets, have different point of views, but that doesn't mean we're not friends.
Yeah.
Like respectfully, I can say, well, I don't really agree with that.
But that's a problem now.
Collectively speaking, people can't do that.
Yeah.
People can't. It's very hard for people to do that. It's like black or white thinking.
And
that's what it's called. It's called black and white thinking. They can't see the gray area. And like I said before, it's kind of ironic because I remember when everybody used to talk about tolerance this, tolerance that, tolerance this. In in school, like it became a big thing talking about tolerance when 9/11 happened and when they were treating certain people who looked a certain way. And then it's kind of taken this extreme take where it's just like, oh, well, I think like the more we're divided, the harder it is for people to kind of collectively agree that certain things just exist and we all collectively need them. Even if I don't agree with you, you don't agree with me, and I live in this community, doesn't mean I have to tear down your community.
Agreed.
Like it's become just very divisive. And it hasn't, because if you think about it, like Native Americans and African American or Africans or any kind of real tribes that coexist in any community, they only fought over like when they got into each other's territory. Other than that, it was just like, okay, you over there, we're over here, we can trade. You got that? Oh, I got this. Let's trade. Like, I think the capitalism and the consumerism and like money and like the resources is like now it's become divisive because it's like, oh, but we want the resources. We should get all of that. Y'all shouldn't get anything because we believe that.
Yeah,
and what we believe trumps what you believe, and we're more important.
And that's what I'm saying. It's like
become divisive.
And that's honestly, you can see it in like the marketing. That's why I think it's different because it's like everything's so divided and everything can be taken as offense. Where it's like, I feel like the people up top, like for instance, how you said like, boy, they say women should like run the company that whatever. Like we've been saying that about video games. Like video games, like you can tell the people that run the fucking companies of video games don't play video games, so they be making like the dumbest mistakes. Whereas it's like you can see it in propaganda. It's just like so many times I see like, for instance, that commercial with one of the Jenners. It was like a riot. It was a Pepsi commercial, and one of the Jenners just came up in the middle and pulled out a Pepsi, and it was just like everything was okay when she pulled out the Pepsi. It's like, bro, like,
have you ever heard of bread
so fucking like you're like you missed the mark on this one, and it's just like somebody there had to be able to see like this is stupid, but it did. It just was like I feel like there's so many different teams now that niggas don't even know how to market correctly to people unless they're like, you know what I mean?
No, it's because we're going by, you gotta remember, we're going by algorithm now. Before we were going by like almost like patterns and like almost like however we keep statistics and shit like that. Now we're going by like AI and what AI
numbers say.
Yeah, and numbers say.
That was some AI shit, bro.
So people like can become head of fucking like exactly what Kanye says. Like, I like Lady Gaga. But the fuck does she know about cameras? Yeah. You get what I'm saying? Maybe AI said that a lot of people that own Lumix cameras listen to Lady Gaga's music. Nobody knows why, but the two circles intertwine.
Yeah.
Like that's the type of shit that's going on right now through algorithm. Like you can find artists that sound like your favorite artists, and it's like, I don't know why I like this song, but
this shit hit.
It hits. You know what I mean? And it's like certain trends that we weren't able to pick up back in the 70s or back in the 80s are like coming like to the surface now, and sometimes we just don't know why it works like that. You know, that's the craziest part about everything now.
Strange times.
I also think that if we're fighting amongst each other, then we're not looking at the real shit that's going on. I think the more we're divided and the more we're just like pointing at it. You ever see that meme with the Spider-Mans?
Yeah.
And they're all pointing at each other? Yeah. I feel like that's kind of what it is.
Yeah, definitely.
But we're not paying attention to what's really creating these diversive tactics that keep us from saying it's you or you or you or you. We're not looking at the real shit that's happening around the world.
I think it's always been like that, though.
Yeah, I do think it's always been like that. It's called bread and circuses.
I just think it's like, has anybody ever had like a grandparent or an auntie that like she don't got no husband and she don't got no friends and her entire life is the drama in the family?
Oh yeah.
Yep.
You know what I mean? And they call
got a couple of them.
They call you and you're like, you know what your Uncle Craig did?
Yeah.
And you know they always did, but it keeps them alive.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And it keeps them like they just like
exactly.
Drama. That's what I think.
Yeah.
Like is going on now.
Yeah.
Like the
puppet master.
Yes, exactly.
The opposite of feminism or a feminist is like a masculinist. And that's what Red Pill is.
Yeah, pretty much.
I'm a masculinist. Yeah. So I'm in all things masculine. I don't listen to no Donnell Jones. I don't you know what I mean? I don't fuck with any of that shit. I need to be the leader of the house. And it's like we have people like Myron or like Andrew Tate that represents the extreme masculineness. Yeah. And you don't really get the people. And then the thing is, I look at somebody like The Rock in the roles that he plays. The avatar that he plays for movies is the masculinist. Yeah. Like he's going around, he has a movie, he's going around with a big 2x4 kicking everybody's ass. What the fuck is that? You get what I'm saying? And it's like, you can tell a lot of these people agree with certain, like I've seen The Rock in certain interviews, like kind of like regurgitate shit that like
talking points that
red pill shit, yeah. But he's never gonna sit down and say some shit like that.
Because he appeals to a broader fucking.
Right now, like people are afraid to lose their audience.
Yeah, and that shit is stifling creativity. Stifling. I don't know. It's making. I don't know. There's a lot of shit coming out that's like weird. I am all about inclusivity, but it's just like let's make sense. Like let's not be scared. Anyways, like this. I was watching TikTok the other day, and I saw this thing. There's a trend going on now where there's like transgender people speaking out against other transgender people. Like
it's ridiculous.
It's like now there's transgender. How do I say this? I'm not trying to be funny. I'm just maybe I'm a little slow. So trans man. That's a woman that used to be a woman. Mm-hmm. That's now a man, right? Mm-hmm. Are speaking out against trans women. That's a man that used to be a man. A woman that used to be a man that is now a woman. Mm-hmm. Kind of like trying to snuff out actual women. Not physically, but like...
They're trying... Yeah.
So basically whatever J.K. Rowling was saying...
Tampons are for people?
Yeah, like there's
like what the fuck do you?
They're making like certain like you have to people that give birth instead of saying women. So
they're trying to erase mothers.
They're trying to erase the word mother, which is there's a lot of trans people that are coming out speaking against it, which I commend because like whatever, if you're trans, cool, like I get it, that's whatever, do your thing, salute to you, and the fact that you're coming out and like speaking against like the some of the ridiculous things that are going on. It's just like, I didn't even know this was a thing, honestly, until I watched this. Like, if you're telling me, like, now we can't even say like saying women having birth is I don't know, that's weird to me.
But it's like, it's kind of like belittling, I think, like, as a woman. It's like, there's certain growing pains we go through being born a girl. Yeah. Like your first period. Like there's just certain like, milestones that create a woman that it's like when you do stuff like that, it kind of erases what makes a so-called natural woman got to the point where she's now from a girl to a woman. You know, it just kind of like, I think a lot of things just kind of like are trying to erase, just like in the name of a certain idealization, they're erasing like what was already there before that, which is natural to kind of like back up something that's kind of like new. Yeah. And it's like, it's ridiculous. It's like, why can't we both...
the thing, I can commend women on it a little. Like, I could commend women on the fact that if it was the other way around with guys, because the way I see it, I see it almost like territorial.
Yo, that is
like, it's like, okay,
we the new women now.
Yeah, if it's like, if things are going like this right now,
good
right?
luck to y'all.
And they're allowing women that used to be men to join sports. Like, you heard about
it's
like
cheating.
The like they whooping women's asses and shit. And it's like, yo,
it reminds me of Joanna.
This woman used to be a dude, and she's knocking this
dunking on everybody.
Yo, and it's like, and now it's like, oh, affirmative action. So we need more. Oh, you're gonna have to pack it up. Yeah, we have a woman that's taller, stronger,
is better than you.
Yeah, and you know, I'm not saying that men are better than women, but it's just like
she's a woman now,
certain.
So. She's a woman. So
certain attributes
it's
are just
biological.
Though. Biological is just not gonna be fair.
Yeah,
and it's like, so they're gonna take y'all spot now.
Yeah.
And they coming after y'all next.
And I know that's not, but that's what I'm saying. I commend women for being like, oh, it's open to everybody, let them in, because men will be like,
get the fuck out of
here. Yeah, we're gonna be like, no, we need to keep this in position. We need to like keep it going. Yeah. But it's like,
man, listen,
like, damn, like they gonna have your babies now.
But it's crazy though, because think about it. You know who J.K. Rowling is?
Yeah, Harry Potter.
So she's considered to be a TERF, which is what, I don't know, something about like, she's against she considers trans women to be an imitation, almost like how we consider blackface.
Mm-hmm.
It is. It's an exaggeration, imitation of a woman.
It blew my mind when she said that. I was just like, wow.
That kind of blew my mind there, like the comparison.
Yeah, and it's like they're like canceling her. And just imagine if a black person came out like, yo, I'm offended by this shit. And niggas would be like, yo, get this nigga out of here, bro. Like, get this damn tap dancing monkey back on the stage and fuck what he said. You know what I mean? Like, we would fucking lose our minds. It would be like nigga riots out the ass.
But think about it.
Because J.K. Rowling, a successful woman that's like rich, and says she feels she's offended by it. It's like, bro, like honestly, like that there would have been, I feel like there could have been a place for a conversation to be had, but instead the tribalism of society today took over, and it's like, well, fuck her, like we're canceling her, and it's just like, bro, like. I never even like considered thinking about it like that. Like, yo,
I've been thought about
these
like
men
that.
are actually, and then
think about it. They all act like somebody's auntie. It's an exaggeration of females. Their makeup's over the top. Their hair's over the top. How they dress over the top. Like their attitude's worse than us. Like there was I think a Twitter thing where I don't even know his name, but he's feminine. He's a gay, feminine man. Mm-hmm. He was like, girls want to be like us. We do hair better. We do makeup better. Like, what?
What the?
And they just like exaggerate. In it, you notice they all act like black women. Mm. They all act like somebody's aunt. You know how auntie like is just like like she's a little abrasive, a little a lot, and you're just like that auntie.
Yeah, I know that.
Have you noticed that all so-called gay men, or like when a man kind of like wants to
how would you feel,
be in his feminine? It's insulting because I remember working with a guy and. He was gay, and he used to I'd be like, tone it down. Like, I used to have to tell him, like, tone it down. Like, he was like, I'm auntie. I'm like, no, you're not. I used to have to, like, he was a white gay guy, and I'm like, I don't have no problem. Like, nobody cares, but tone it down. Tone it down.
Like, you felt like he was like
he was mocking me,
like mocking you.
Yeah, I felt like he was mimicking
How would
me.
you feel like if white women were starting to turn like
to hood niggas,
trying women like trans men?
Oh shit!
And they started being like, "Yo, what up, my nigga?" You know what I mean? Like, how would you feel? How would you feel if like that was the nigga you worked with? It's good, nigga. You know what I'm talking about? Hey, yo, bro, I was locking this DMX.
Like the most nigga of all niggas,
right
they
now,
act like that.
I never really seen
that. Would
like
be
that.
a little weird. It'd
I
be
never
like,
really seen it like that.
It's not. It doesn't
I'm like,
feel
nigga,
good.
you making fun of me, bro?
Exactly.
I never seen
You're
it like
mocking
that.
me. Oh, I can dress better than
That's
you.
kinda
Ooh, girl,
crazy.
that outfit. You're like, tone it down.
It's like a whole new window to problems I've never even thought about. And I was just like, wow. I'm like, how many women feel like this? Because you don't ever see. Mostly what I see is women in support.
Yeah.
Like there's always a girl with a gay best friend or whatever. So I thought like, oh, like, you know what I mean? Like, granted, I'm not saying gays are trans, but I've always seen that. And I never thought like, how do you feel
until they find out their boyfriend is down low.
Oh, yeah, I don't know about all that. But yeah, so that's what I'm saying. Like, I don't know. That's such it's just an interesting or intriguing oversight.
I feel like there's room for everybody, but why make it a competition? Why make it so divisive? Like, it's just like there's a lane for everybody.
Yeah.
Why do you have to take up this lane too? Like, be who you are, be proud of who you are, but why do you have to take down the next group of people to do that?
Where do you think that shit comes from though? Like when
I'm not gonna say what I think. Cause
like just say like Steve from next door, white dude ends up being trans and he turns into Steve Quisha. Like he's raised in the suburbs, but now he talk like this.
I think it's because I was watching this. You ever watch on YouTube? You have like the Japanese guy going around and he'll be like, "What do you think about black people?"
No, I never seen that one.
Yo, watch that. There's like there's a Japanese guy that goes around Tokyo or Osaka, wherever it is, and he's asking other Japanese people, "What do you think about black people?" And candidly, you get to see what they think about them, and you'll see a lot of Japanese girls saying like, "Oh, they're so confident. They're the epitome of being a confident girl." Think about being that. I can't imagine being that confident. And when you think about it from a girl's perspective, it's just like, well, from a man's perspective, it's like we never put ourselves in that shoe. We just think that like, yeah, she wilding, you know what I mean? Yeah. But it's like, to dress that way, to think about how culturally shocking it is for a timid Chinese girl or girl, not even Chinese, Japanese, anywhere, to see Beyonce busting it out and being confident and you're like, what is this? You get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
You're like, what the fuck is that? I've nenever seen nobody
Super Saiyan.
Yeah, and she's confident, busting it down, flicking her hair back. She's beautiful. And then like niggas is like, I think they take that narrative, they take that perspective right there and being like, if I'm a woman, I want to be the most confident version of a woman. So I'm gonna be a black woman. I want to be a powerful. I want to be a powerful woman, so I want to be a black woman.
You never seen the video of the little white girl? She was like, "I'm a powerful black woman." And her mom was like, "No." She was like, "You're a little white girl." She's like, "No, but when I grow up, I'm gonna be a powerful black woman." And it's like, I don't know. As a black girl, we're at the fucking bottom of the totem pole. We get the least respect in a lot of different places. If we're not fucking Beyonce, like we have a fucking hard time out here. So for people to run around, like, yes, it's okay that people think of us in that way, but we don't get that credit on a regular basis. But for someone to embody us and get all the rights and get all of this shit that we still fighting for, it's kind of fucking like, really? Really? They get to act like us, dress like us, talk like us, walk like us, wear their hair like us, and they get all the credit. We get no respect. but we're the fucking prototype. Like, how fair is that?
Yo,
how fair is that?
I get what you're saying.
I saw a video of Michael Jackson talking about when Eminem dissed him. This was really interesting to me, right?
Uh-huh.
Eminem dissed him and he showed him, the just lose it, right?
Yeah.
And it was him on the bed, on the edge of the bed, and his hair was on fire, and it was like kids jumping up and down the bed.
Yeah.
Michael Jackson said, I didn't like that. I'm pissed off because of that. Right? And he ended up buying Eminem's whole catalog. Right? But I also saw this TikTok, right? And I sent it to you, Sade. And it's I'm gonna show you it right after the show. And it's the top selling artists. They do it in like a graph. Cool. And you can see like who was on top of the charts and all that. And this music was like a rock industry. There was rock stars first.
Yeah.
Michael Jackson came on and niggas like we haven't seen a lead like Michael Jackson ever. Like Michael Jackson came out and shot right to the top, and rock turned into pop music, and everything changed. It wasn't rock stars anymore.
Damn.
Michael Jackson was the first black person to be aired on a music video. Did you know that?
Nah.
The first black person on TV in a music video was Michael Jackson's Billie Jean.
Get the fuck out of here.
So they're seeing him in his pink shirt, walking, lighting up the blocks on the floor, like, who is this nigga?
Yeah.
I like it. Yeah. But it's like, he paved the way for Eminem to have rap on TV. Eminem's white, yes, but without Michael Jackson, there's no one to pay. Yeah. That's why Kanye says without Michael Jackson breaking down MTV's door, we wouldn't have Biggie on MTV. We wouldn't have Eminem on MTV. So he looks at it like you have the nerve to be a guest.
The audacity.
Yeah.
In our culture to come diss somebody that paved the way for your culture.
I never even thought about it.
That's how it feels. That's exactly how it feels.
And I see the similarity in like what you guys are saying.
That's bars. That's big bars right there. Yeah, I ain't gonna lie. That's that makes me think I gotta go back and put on my thinking hat for a little bit and just I'm not saying anything against trans or anything. That's not what we're here for. It's definitely for like a conversation.
Right.
Because it's something to be aware of. And I think we should it's something I've been saying for like a long time. I think we should stop put down the pitchforks real quick and start like opening our eyes to other opinions. And like you may not be seeing what you're doing. Like you may not see whose toes you're stepping on by going on your crusades. Like it just people are people, bro. Like there's like very rarely like, for example, I'm not going on a long tangent. Never mind. I was going to go on a long tangent. You know what I mean? But it's just like there's no villains. I'm not gonna say there's not bad people in the world, but nobody's trying to destroy the fucking world just because. There's a reason for everything. I feel like if people just have a conversation and just like kind of like just adhere to like each other and just just have a little fucking dialogue, bro. Like
I agree. I agree.
Dialogue goes
but that's
so
hard
long.
when you don't have the comprehension or the vocabulary to do that. Like
even just that is the patience.
But not only that, like I think it's just really hard for people when you're immersed in the world and you feel like your collective is being undermined. Like it's very hard to not step on somebody else's toes.
Yeah,
right. It's just hard. Like even if we have the conversation, it's easier said than done.
Right. Agree. Yo, with that said, y'all, we've been rolling for a minute now. That's another episode of the IC. Thanks for coming back this week and tuning back. Peace.
See you later.